Normally what happens is once Joey has something written, uh, he'll send it to me, and he already kind of has like a rough idea of what the drums are gonna sound like. So he sends that to me as well, and I kind of give it a listen, and I ask for two separate tracks. I ask for a track with drums and a track without, and basically what I'll do is I'll just listen to the two. I'll play through the one like with the track with the drums that Joey gives me, and then I'll basically take that and make it my own. And there's a lot of parts in the songs too that are very, you know, the music that we play is, there's a lot of emotion behind it. So I try to convey that emotion too, because sometimes in, you know, just the placeholder drums, that emotion isn't there. So, you know, certain parts make me feel a certain way when I'm listening to them. So I will write the drum parts to kind of convey my own emotions. So what you're hearing in every piece of music that I've, you know, helped compose is basically just my own feelings.
Everything I hit just goes in the wrong direction. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. He's out.
Kafis takes it to the bag. Quick recovery
He's
from
out.
the misplay pays off for the end.
Vinny's out.
Sometimes it's hard to do to actually make any sort of emotion come to light. You know, it's probably easier to bring that emotion out in guitar or in bass or in vocals because there's notes behind it as opposed to what you're just hearing on drums. I go into a different place. I kind of just dig from inside, and, you know, I've had a lot of things in my past that, you know, I've gone through personally, and I kind of allow that emotion to kind of take over whenever I'm writing something. And to be able to take my emotion and what I'm feeling and then translate that to what the rest of Kilbarron is writing and putting their emotion into, I feel like it kind of works and it melds well. And, you know, a lot of that is really conveyed through what you've heard before in our previous stuff, and as well as what you're going to hear in the future as well.
Sick. What is C3? C3 is already set as a bell. So ride is, let me go and record it. Do you want to hit the...
What do you want me to
Yeah,
do?
bar 90 right when we come in. Yeah.
It's alright. I kind of just feel like I want to do the whole take again and kind of see where.
Okay. You want me to save this take, this entire take?
Yeah, save it
Then we
just in
can-
case we need to, like, we can piecemeal it or whatever.
Yeah. For the single specifically for Evergreen, we actually, I wrote out the entire drum skeleton and sent it to him. And then Alex didn't write anything like recording. Like he didn't record anything to be like, hey, we should do this, we should do that. The parts that he wrote and that he changed, he wanted to surprise me and just play it the day that we were going to record. And I remember I was like, dude, this is going to be like one of the best things we've ever released, like ever.
He's just so good at what he does. What I've always loved, you know, just hearing what he brings to a lot of these our releases, our singles, is just how much he can just surprise me every single time. Like, I thought I had a pretty good note on how he played and like what he can do, but it's every time it's something different. He makes me realize he can do something that I didn't even think that was possible on the drums. So he always brings up just a new fill, a new way to do something that, you know, just kind of changes the entirety of the song. You know, no matter how many versions or remakes we do, every time we get something back from Alex, it seems like it's just like something completely different. It's just a revitalized version.
To go a bit back, Alex is the newest member to the band. He came in to the band with a lot of experience. He used to go on tour, he played with a bunch of bands in the past, and when he moved down here to Maryland, he was kind of on his own, and well, in the music world, he was on his own. He didn't know anybody, and when we reached out to him when he joined the band, it was like light bulbs went up everywhere for all of us, all members of the band, including him, and like he was the missing piece to the puzzle that we've always been looking for.
CUM, correct?
Dash what?
Dash zap.
Dog, museum is a hard ass word to spell. Same as restaurant.
I found it really easy to click with everybody. It really is not so much a band for me anymore than it is like just being a part of a family or just like a really, really tight-knit group of friends. And I think that makes the writing process so much easier because we all get along so well and we all click and we all know exactly what we want to hear. And then when that finally comes to fruition, it's like everybody's just like, this is awesome. Like it sounds really good. And especially somebody who's not native to Maryland either, these guys made me feel like I was home. So being a part of that culture and being a part of like the Kilbarron family it's been an awesome experience for me so far, and it really has made the writing process so much easier.
We have this dynamic where Alex will write something to the guitar parts that I come up with, and he'll completely change like the drum skeleton that I give him. For example, I'll send him a riff with like a simple drum groove that I put on, and I'll just be like, hey man, can you make this better? Or like, let me know what you think about like that fill here. And he'll take it and skew it in a way that I didn't think I would do, and it's amazing. From all the stories he tells and all the experiences that he's had when he lived back in New Jersey, I kind of took it upon myself, and the rest of the guys did it as well, to kind of like fill that gap so that he could kind of like feel at home immediately. We tend to push each other pretty far musically, and like he'll come up with something complicated and I'll try to like complement what he's writing or make something even more complicated, and it spirals out of control. But we have this really positive dynamic where things just get better and better and better despite how basic the idea is from the start.
Here's tools. Tools.
We gotta get the tools.
You gotta get the tools.
That was almost like the universe didn't want this song to happen. So I get here to show up to do some bass tracking for the new single, and I go to pull my bass out of the bag, and we decided my strings are a little dead, so I need to change them. I luckily have a pack of strings sitting there. So I go to change it, get the strings all unwound off, the old strings unwound, and my nut falls off of my bass.
Hey Cam,
Yeah.
are you home?
Yes.
So we need to borrow your bass because Kyle, it's a full moon and everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no.
My nut fell off.
I don't know if disaster is the right thing to say, but like things just did not go well on the day that we planned on tracking bass. They gave Kyle the wrong pack of strings. The nut on his bass popped out, and we didn't think it was too reliable, so like we had to go to Cam's house and get his bass because he's also a bass player. And then on top of that, there's a lot of parts that we needed to kind of like rewrite on the spot so that we could fit the deadline to have this released. And we spent a lot of time kind of like cycling through ideas, is this going to work here? Maybe if you went up to this chord instead. And um, it was fun though. Like we hanging out with him and like workshopping ideas like that. It's never a dull moment and it never gets boring. So like essentially it just felt like we were hanging out and shooting the shit and recording music and like working on an idea that we had.
And we're back in the saddle again.
You want to try playing with it?
Yeah. Normally, when I go into writing a bass part, the first thing I like to do is really, obviously, familiarize myself with a song. I'll sit there and I'll listen to it till it stops surprising me. I'll listen to it over and over again, maybe take a couple days, maybe take a week, where it's like the one thing I really listen to. And I'll go throughout the day and I'll think about it. I'll put it in my headphone and I'll go through and I just kind of think about what my bass parts is going to be, like what I could do behind it, what I could do to bring that song, kind of to like, not the next level to be, stereotypical, but, just what I can add to it to bring something out, something more out of that song.
So Kyle and I go way back. Kyle, also a great guy. Great bassist, even though he, started out playing guitar, he learned how to play bass so fast for us. It was literally just like we asked him one day, hey, do you want to play bass for us? Because I didn't want to play bass and scream at the same time. And he said, yeah, sure. And he immediately picked it up and added his own flair to it. He started doing things once again that I wouldn't have thought of. His style is very unique, in my opinion. His ear is also very unique in what he hears and what he decides to play.
I don't go into it looking to change a song, but I know I want to add more of like a subtlety to it, because I know especially in the rhythm sections, and especially with something when you're dealing with the low frequencies of a bass, the more you do with that, the more it's going to kind of mess everything up. And I know when I first started with Kilbarron, and I first joined, and I was all excited. I'm going to learn how to play bass. Or not learn how to play bass. I'm going to play bass in a band and write my own parts. I wanted to be all gung ho. I wanted to have my own parts that are going to be very, up front and center stage. Like, hey, look, I'm the bassist. Look at this thing that I can do. But very quickly I realized after, Joey put up with my stuff for a little while and, let me try out a couple ideas. He was like, I don't know, I think that's going to get a little muddy, but we'll try it anyway. And we did, and I started slowly realizing what he was saying and where that kind of brings things with, wanting to reach out more, like stand out more as an instrument.
Just like with Cam, Kyle and I go way back as well. We used to work together. That's how we met. We were coworkers, and then we immediately hit it off. Like we're both metalheads. We're both into video games. We're both into like that kind of stuff, and we're both into guitars. He's actually originally a guitar player, and then he ended up playing bass for Kilbarron. But I think my favorite thing about him, like he's very like he has a thing where when we have an idea and we have a vision of how we want like something to be released, how we want something to be written, how we want something to sound, like he's just like, he just gets it. And like, he doesn't, it's not like he's agreeing with you. It's like, he just knows exactly what you mean. And he's so empathetic in a way where it's like, he just compliments you in the best way possible with whatever you're doing, whether it's like guitar riffs or like a drum groove or lyrics. Like he he's just on top of it and he expands on everything that we do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm letting it rip. Just go. Go. I don't care. No, you didn't go back down. No. Let it rip. Back down. Yep.
I think it's also worth mentioning too, like Kyle's he's a writer as well. Like he writes books. He's really deep into like reading and fiction and just storytelling in general. So like that creative side of him where he gets to express himself, it really affects the band in like a positive way, and it affects me and like all the writing that I do as well in the best way possible, because me and him will just brainstorm for hours and then just get stuff on paper and get stuff recorded.
Let's not Beyblade it. Let's actually
Okay.
just, yeah. So I'm gonna put you back a little bit. Let's try to feel out a.
What I've always loved about, writing with Kilbarron is just, I think it's just one of the most pure and just fun ways a band can possibly come together to, create the music that they want. We all usually just get together as a group, we'll hang out in the studio, and go out and get lunch, and just hang out with the boys, just make a day of it. And then when we really go, get down to brass tacks, start writing the music, Joey will pick up his guitar and he'll start, playing some really fancy, super special riff that he's been working on. And we'll just all go back and forth. We'll say like, hey, what if we do this here? Like, hey, what if we had something was going on behind that, like going like this? And as we go, it just kind of evolves and develops, things change. By the time we go through and finish one writing session, we've changed a song 4 or 5 different times. We've got 3 or 4 different versions that we've saved to go back to. And, just be like, hey, okay, we can try this, let's try this. What if we take it from this version and put it over here into this version? And, just kind of mix it up and mix and match, and you just kind of find what works best. And it's just so much fun to, just be able to sit around and, have that communication and that creative freedom with everybody, to the point where everybody knows just enough of everybody else's instrument, if not actually knowing the instrument, to be able to say, like, what if the drums do this? What if we have a fill that sounds like this here? Or what if the bass does this? What if we have a little bit more complex of a part here? But and, we all just kind of go back and forth, and we all let everybody's ideas kind of ring out, and we'll try, anything that anybody has, these ideas or these, just desires to try, and we flesh them out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, we record it, we leave it in, and we just kind of go.
So it's really random. I go on like writing streaks. There will be points in time where every few days I'll just show the guys like a new idea, like, hey, this is something new. Like, hey, I added onto this part for whatever song I was working on, and like that'll happen and keep going for a few months, and then I'll just for some reason go on like dry spells where I just won't have any inspiration at all. Specifically for the single, I remember I had a really bad day and I just came home and I really just needed to vent, and I picked up my guitar, and next thing you know, I wrote the intro riff for Evergreen, and it just spiraled, and I wrote the whole song in like one night. It was pretty crazy. I guess I can say that I'm pretty emotionally driven when it comes to writing music, especially for Kilbarron. Like, we tend to relate a lot of our experiences into the music that we write, and we hope to make like a connection to our fans that way. I did it. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Fuck! Fuck! Too early.
Joey's an awesome guitarist. And I have yet to be disappointed by anything I've ever heard him write. And it shows, especially in the new single. Again, there's a lot of adaptability there with, his openness to changing parts and, adding things that maybe he didn't know prior, especially in this song. One of the parts that I gave an idea about was the solo towards the end of the song. And I really didn't have like a set idea, and Joey just kind of ran with it, and it sounds so good. And you can hear all of that emotion, all of that raw emotion in his playing in that solo. And it just, when you hear it and you hear that like explosion of music that happens, it's really, really cool. And it's been a lot of fun to write alongside him.
Ever since I started tracking guitars for Kilbarron in general back when we first started, I made it a point to get the demo as close to a final take as possible just to save time. This time around with Evergreen, I kind of had like a really scratchy, really messy demo going for the guitar parts because I wanted to get everything, out on paper while I was writing that wave of writing the song. So I really took the time recording this to kind of get everything perfect. So it took about maybe a couple hours longer than I would have usually done, but having the attention to detail with like string noise, muting, chord changes, especially with the whole single having like a lead guitar part throughout the entire song. I really wanted to get it right and get it articulate and record it in a way where it was very precise.
Is that all it took?
Honestly, this all started with Joey. The entire vision, everything that I've ever seen about this band, it's always been from Joey's perspective, just everything that I know about him, because he's the one member of the band that I've known the longest. So I've come to be pretty familiar with his playing style and the things that he can write. And just when he showed me the stuff for Kilbarron, it was a whole nother level of stuff that, from what he used to show me, it was something completely different, completely new, and something I personally had never really heard before. And it was just, I immediately fell in love with it. I was like, this is amazing. And then when he asked me to join and I had the opportunity to help create that kind of music and these things that he was showing me, boggled my mind. It was insane because he is, again, in my personal life, one of the most influential people that I've had. I haven't known many guitarists in my life. I haven't gotten close to many guitarists in my life except for Joey. And he's just always brought his A game to the table. He's always brought something new. He's always brought the funness. He's always brought the absolute rumble. He is just an all around fantastic musician. And I've always just been jealous of his playing, but he is Kilbarron for lack of anything else. Like, he made our sound and he is where we came from.
So for all the rhythm guitars, they are on my Gibson Les Paul Custom. It's a 2025 model. It's my main guitar here. It's already got a bunch of dents and a bunch of scratches, and this is just like my main squeeze. And I've always wanted a Gibson Les Paul since I was a teenager. So this is the one that we are using for all the rhythm guitars. And then for all the leads, we are using a ESP E2. This is a, I think it's a 2021 in like the natural burst. But I have in here the EMG Jim Root signatures, and I have it with a 24 volt mod. So all the leads are going to be done on this. It sounds really good, stays in tune, intonated very well, and this is kind of like my main guitar for recording leads and stuff, so. No! Fuck! To me, Kilbarron is like my second family. I've known everybody in the band for a very long time. We do a lot of things together outside of the band. Like, we're actually friends. We are not just like coworkers or business partners. Like, we tend to take a lot of time outside of music to just get to know each other and like be friends and decent human beings towards each other. I feel like a lot of bands, they either don't start out that way, or they start out where it's like it's all about the music, you know, it's business. And to me, that's not, to me at least in my opinion, that's not the best way to go about things. Like, if I'm going to be emotionally invested in a group of guys where we have to create something that's beautiful and emotional and connect in a way where we can connect with our fans and our friends, like, there needs to be some sort of bridge between all 4 or 5 of us. Like, we tend to keep our relationships pretty tight with each other.
I'm about to go log into my Facebook.
I guess they took all their old. I guess they took all their old stuff.
Question 1, take 2 for real this time. What's your writing process for your parts?
It's very long. It's very complicated for me. It's very hard. And it's... Damn it, Joey! All right, I guess we're cutting that. That's true. Yeah. True.
I wasn't.
No, it's fine.
I started.
It was both of us. It was both of us.
That's the way we are.
Yeah.
I start laughing.
I just can't help it.
Wait, you want me to ask the question?
Yeah.
Just the first one. I'll come back for the next one.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, not ready yet. It's a very difficult process for me, considering this is the first time I've done vocals for a band and been a front man, and I've always been in the background playing bass, doing backing vocals or backing screams, which is how I guess I got better and got more experience with doing vocals live and watching my other bands, their frontmen, and how that would go and how that doesn't work for me, how my process is way different.
Declare! The writing on the walls that made their declare! We have to save that tape. We have to save that take. It's getting saved. It's being put in the background.
Dude, we just fucking started.
It just started. Oh, fuck. Alright.
Cam and I go way back. We've known each other for around, 10 to 15 years now, and we've got to learn about each other very well within those 10 to 15 years. Like, we know what triggers each other, we know what hypes each other up, we know, basically, we know each other like the back of our hands, and writing together with him is always a pleasure because the results just come super fast. Just because we've known each other for that long, and the fact that he's one of my best friends, like, we just have a really good time when we write, and things get done really fast. Vocally, though, we have this process where we like to kind of bounce ideas off each other, and like, Cameron's a really big rhythmic person, and I'm really deep into like meaning and subtlety and like, I guess lyric choice, wording, and stuff like that. And like, whenever we get together and we try to write a song and write lyrics for a song, like, it's the best things just happen. Like, we both sing on stage, and we both I do backing vocals as well as play guitar. So like, a lot of the parts that he writes, like, sometimes it sounds cool if like I layer under it, or maybe if it's clean and I do like a clean section for that. And like, we just have this dynamic that works really well together.
Left to right! That might be too hot. It's like fucking SpongeBob.
You do, bro.
Left to... I am broken! Words spoken! I want to do it again.
Yeah, stop after broken.
Yeah.
You want to hold out broken. You see how the transients
Yeah.
are...
Yeah. I'm gonna hold the bitches out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how this one right here?
See, now, yeah, because now I get, like, what you were saying before, after saying words weren't spoken.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Recording vocals
so I
has
can
been
stop after
awesome the last 2 days. My favorite part, honestly, is recording layers. I like getting a skeleton done. That's like the hardest part for me. I usually go home so tired afterwards, and my voice is, I wouldn't say it's gone, but it's been used. That's what it feels like. And yeah, usually layers, when you start to see it all come together and form into this thing that we have created, it's pretty awesome. And then Joey adds his parts, which makes it even more awesome. And yeah, it's been great the last 2 days. I always enjoy recording vocals. It's usually my favorite part of the recording process, even though recording the skeleton is very intense for me. It's always worth it, and it pays off in the long run.
We promised that we would be forever, that our love would be evergreen, evergreen.
Cam is also so great. It's his lyricism is unlike anybody that I've known personally in my life. The way when he brings up, a new song idea when we're trying to write for a new release or a new something, anything, a single or an entire play, he just the way he connects his emotions and his words and the things that he wants to portray, and the way he can just so accurately mimic exactly how he's feeling with words, and bringing it to life through his screaming or his eventual singing that he's been trying to do. And it's just been it's always all inspiring in a way. Just I've always thought of myself as something of a failed writer, and just the way he really brings out just everything that he wants to make, everything he wants to get across, he makes happen. And he gets it across in a way that, really just brings it all home.
I'll do that again. Yeah, sorry.
Hold down rotted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this was good though.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good.
Damn. That's some raw vocals right there.
Yeah, that was really good.
Cool. So just the second part.
My favorite part about how we write music is when we all get together during rehearsals and we just try to flesh out ideas. That's always fun to do. And usually for me, I'm kind of sitting on the side trying to think of lyrics to write or writing lyrics, trying to fit in where I can. But it's always impressive how fast these guys write and how much we can accomplish in like one sitting.
This time around, we opted to use synths for the first time. On the side, Cam actually does a lot of like audio production for like electronic music, lo-fi, and all that stuff. So he's super into like synths, and he hooked me up with Serum specifically, and we started messing around with things and adding layers into the song. I was kind of skeptical at first, and I was kind of scared because I don't know anything about synths, and you could show me like the interface for Serum and I'll just be like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Fuck. Fuck. I got it. Let's see. It's better if I do it with one hand. I'm just getting into sound design, so this is really cool for me. Especially getting to play around and see what works best with our sound and what sounds good in our mix, what knobs I have to tweak. Honestly, it's been incredible because I'm blending two of my lives together essentially, because at home I'm, by myself working with synths and all that, but bringing it and incorporating it into Kilbarron has been very fun. Especially when we've never done it before. It's very new to us, but it opens up a door. And now we know we can do it in the future for future projects, future songs, future EPs, if we wanted to.
How do I make the beginning softer?
As far as what?
Like just the attack just for the beginning.
The attack for which one? Which is everything?
Like it kind of comes in a little bit too harsh, don't you think? Or is it the low end that comes in too harsh?
It might be the low end. You can always try. Well,
Joey's been killing it since the beginning. He's been doing all the work that we don't quite know how to do. This being a lot of our first band, or at least first band that's playing live and seeking out shows and whatnot. It's been awesome to watch and to learn just from the background. He has progressed so much since the beginning of Kilbarron, and the fact that he's willing to take that on is awesome. It's dope. And once again, I'm learning so much from him just from watching and from the background. I'm usually here when he mixes, especially when I do vocals or, usually if somebody's tracking bass or drums, I'm usually there watching and learning. And it's cool to watch, it's cool to witness. And he is imperative to the growth of Kilbarron. We wouldn't be where we are today without him.
I have two favorite things in my life: writing music and playing video games. If it means I get to write music by drawing inspiration from video games with my best friends, I wouldn't have it any other way. Some of the best music I've ever heard comes out of it, and we have so much more music that we're working on, and just doing it with people that you love, it makes it so much so much more bearable. There's no stress. Like, it's one of the best feelings in the world. I come from playing guitar in a bedroom, writing everything by myself, releasing everything by myself. I started out as a bedroom guitarist and a bedroom audio engineer, and by having other people around me, experiencing new things and figuring things out that, I would just go to Google for. It's life-changing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's one of the best things that could have happened to me.